Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another video, and I'm extremely excited to be talking about this one because Guillotine is finally getting a buff, and she actually won the vote for the community vote for which champion should get buffed. It came down between her and Ant-Man. We all thought Ant-Man was going to win, but she won. I was a little disappointed at first, but then I was like, you know what? It doesn't really matter who gets chosen because if it's like a community vote, like it's got to be a good buff. Like, it's just like when Hercules got voted. Like, I don't even care which character got voted for that much. I just love the whole voting system because I know if the entire community votes for something, like, Kabam is going to want to make sure it's actually good, right? That's just what I think in my head anyway. So, let's get into this. This should be a pretty sick buff. So, Guillotine Spotlight. Guillotine. I think it's actually pronounced Guillotine, so that's what we're going to say. So, let's go. There is some French stuff in here, and I am Canadian, which if you didn't know, Canada is bilingual, 50% English, 50% French, technically. I took French when I was in like elementary school a little bit, just a bit. So I'll try to speak the French parts. But first, what I wanted to touch upon was her prestige. So this is really cool. Her prestige now at 6-star, rank 3, is 13,519. Now you might be thinking like, okay, that sounds pretty good, you know, pretty average for like new champions, right? You're right, but now let me tell you her prior prestige. So remember, 13,500 prestige now. Before, it was this, 12,253. Bro, it's going up like 1,300 points. That is awesome. So really good prestige increase, man. That is huge. Okay, let's get into it. So she's Mystic, of course. That's not changing. Basic abilities are Bleed, Curse, Spectre, and Degeneration. So strengths, high damage potential. Stacking bleeds, especially when heavy special combos, can deal some serious damage over time, especially with a high number of soul charges. Buff heavy opponents. Opponents who utilize many buffs at one time will quickly realize their folly, as Guillotine's chances to inflict bleeds rise with each buff on the opponent. Weaknesses is Purify. Opponents who are not immune but can purify Guillotine's bleed debuffs can severely hamper her ability to deal and heal damage. And Concussion. Having a big #metal sword has its perks, but a certain master of magnetism can turn off much of what Guillotine relies on. Of course, that's talking about Domino. Just kidding. Magneto, of course. Both of them. Now, the following stats are based on a 5-star level 65, rank 5. So abilities, Life Siphon. Guillotine heals 2% of all damage taken by the opponent. Excuse me? What? Well, dude, she just has a passive permanent healing. 2% of any kind of damage. It doesn't matter what it is. Recoil, suicides, direct damage, base damage, physical damage, energy damage, telekinesis damage, psychic damage. It doesn't matter. Any single type of damage that the opponent takes, if Guillotine is in the fight, she's going to heal 2% of that. That's awesome, man. I was like, what? That sounds so good. I can't wait to actually see that. 2% is not a lot, but just always having that, that's awesome. I think that's awesome. Developers note here, note all damage, stack those bleeds, and watch the HP roll in. So yeah, all the bleeds that you're applying to the opponent, that damage, 2% healing off of all of that. And any kind of damage. So, soul charges, max stacks 15. Each time either champion loses 5% of their max health or is inflicted with a bleed effect, gain 1 soul charge. The first 10 soul charges are indefinite, and additional charges last 10 seconds each. Each soul charge grants 148 attack rating. At 10 plus soul charges, Guillotine becomes unshackled, enhancing her special attacks until she's back below 6 charges. Developers note, wait until Guillotine is at 10 plus charges, then unleash her heavy/special combo for maximum damage, which we will touch upon. So, critical hits. 35% chance to inflict a bleed debuff, causing 1,700 direct damage over 5 seconds. Chance increases by a flat 5% for each buff on the opponent. So when you're fighting heavily buff opponents, you're going to be causing bleeds most of the time on your crits, but you still do need to have the critical hit, which is annoying. I don't think Guillotine has the highest of critical ratings. Actually, we can check it right now. I'm in game. Let's pop it open as a 5-star. Let's see what her crit rating is. And it is critical rating 668, 25%. It's actually not bad. 1 in 4. Okay, I thought it was lower than that. It's actually not too bad. I don't know if they're going to increase that with the buff either. It's not explicitly said, so I doubt it. But there's always a chance. Okay, let's keep reading. So developer note. Yeah, we said that. We read the critical hit increase. So developer note here on the crit rate. Crit rate is important for Guillotine, and maximizing this stat and reliably increasing or inflicting crits means more bleeds more often, for sure. So heavy attacks. This is where the whole heavy attack combo with the special comes into play. So 100% chance to inflict a 10-second bleed curse debuff. An opponent with a bleed curse suffers a bleed debuff, causing 2200 direct damage over 5 seconds each time they're struck with a special attack. So developers note here, Guillotine's heavy is incredibly important. Don't forget to use it before launching a special attack for maximum damage output. So this sounds really strong. If that's like on each hit of the special attack, you're just going to be applying more bleeds. That sounds awesome. More bleeds, the more healing you're going to get. The more bleeds that you're applying, the more souls you're going to be gaining. Like, the more attack you're going to have. Sounds good. Sounds like there's some really good damage potential. You can, Command John also said that you can heavy cancel into a special attack as well. So that's good to hear. So now let's get to the French special attacks. So, special attacks. If Guillotine is unshackled, Guillotine is passively unblockable during the attack. And remember, to become unshackled, all you need to do is be at 10 or more soul charges, and then you become unshackled. So if you got those 10, you're going to be passively unblockable for the entire special. So special attack 1, La Force de Ancestres. Final hit has a 100% chance to inflict a Pain Link debuff lasting 10 seconds. While active, any non-physical damage taken by Guillotine is also inflicted on the opponent as physical damage. And if you're unshackled, spend 10 souls to apply an additional Pain Link debuff when launching the attack. So, as far as this goes, when I first read this, I was like, okay, wasn't sure about it. Then after reading, seeing what Command John was saying a little bit, this is more of a defensive ability. Because, I was reading this, I was like, if it was just, whatever damage that you took would just be, like reflected and you wouldn't take it, I think that would be really good. But this is more supposed to just be more of a defensive type ability, which is fine. Just don't use a special one. A lot of characters have special ones that you don't really use anyways, so it's not a big deal. And the developer note here is DOT, damage got you down, share the pain with your opponent. I don't really want to share that pain. I'd rather just use a different special attack and kill them quicker, then I'll end up taking less DOT damage in the long run. So yeah, I don't really think that's worth it in a lot of places. Okay, special 2, Coup de Masse, Coup de Massue, Coup de Massue. I think that's how you say it. No idea, guys. I'm guessing here. A final hit has a 100% chance to inflict a Spectre debuff for 10 seconds, reducing regeneration rate by 200%. So not only will you completely turn off that regen, you're going to be completely inverting it. So whatever it was healing them for, that's how much they should be taking from it, I think. 200%. And then unshackled, spend 10 souls to pause the Spectre for 10 seconds when it is first activated. So you can get a 20-second long Spectre going if you are unshackled when dropping the special attack. So if you need to be reversing some regen, definitely sounds like the way to go. Now, special 3, this is if you want max damage. So a coup de grace, the coup de grace, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that one right. 100% chance to inflict a degeneration debuff causing 1700 direct damage over 3 seconds. Then consume all soul charges to increase the degeneration duration by plus 3 seconds for each soul spent this way. So if you're at max souls, you can get this. You can basically deal an additional like 17,000 damage with the special 3, and like I said, there's a max of 15 souls, so that's the most damage that you get out of 5 more souls, and that would be the most damage that you could get with this. You could get an extra 45 second. You can make this last for 51 seconds. Have that degen up there, and every 3 seconds is dealing 1700 damage. So that sounds good. Her old special 3 was before it would deal 2% of their base health for each soul that you have, and that definitely sounds better. But if they had that, Bam John was saying that if that was still in place, that it would make her healing ability just kind of absurd. So yeah, they did take that away at the end of this. I think overall Guillotine is going to be a much better champion overall. So I think the trade-off is worth it. But let's keep going. Now the signature ability is a real game changer for her. Cursed Aura. So whenever the opponent is immune to Guillotine's personal bleed effects, she has a 100% chance to inflict a matching rupture debuff, causing physical damage. This rupture debuff grants 1 soul charge. So it's basically, it basically just makes her viable against any bleed immune champion, which is great. So it pretty much just expands the pool of champions that she's useful against. You know, if she didn't have this, if she's unawakened, she's obviously not going to be very good against bleed immune characters. But if she has this, you'll be fine. The silver lining here, though, is that you see that 100%. I'm pretty sure in game that 100% is going to be green, and what a green ability means in MCOC and when you're reading them on the champion page is that number can go up. You know, when you rank them up, that number can go up in a signature ability when you sig them up. So I'm not sure what the signature ability is going to be like at sig 1, because it says right here she has a 100% chance to inflict a matching rupture debuff, and of course if it's 100%, that's perfect. She completely counters bleed immunes, but that's going to probably be signature level. No, it's definitely going to be signature level 200 as a 5 or 6 star. So you're going to need to be max sig to completely be countering those bleed immune characters. Otherwise, it'll just be a percentage chance based upon whatever signature ability your Guillotine is. So just slight silver lining on that. I think it's still a really good signature ability to be able to counter bleed immunes. Just kind of annoying how it's going to be sig dependent. It'll just be a chance otherwise. Developer note here, awakening her signature ability grants her effectiveness against a large pool of bleed immune opponents and is incredibly important to her kit. So that's really the main stuff for Guillotine. I think she sounds really good overall. I'm very excited to test her, very excited to see what that 2% regen looks like. Like I can do the math and figure it out what it's going to be, but you need to get like a feel for it, like in a fight, you know? Like, I feel like if you're playing perfect, like that can just keep you topped off, heal like most of the block damage that you take in a fight as long as you're not taking actual combos. So I feel like it could be really good for that. I'm just gonna need to actually see it in game and get a feel for it with when I'm playing. But then we got some synergies. I don't think I did it. I always do initial read through or more than one if the abilities are like kind of crazy. I didn't read this through the synergies on my my first read through. Let's see here. Nothing looking super crazy. Got some attack rating, some armor rating, some critical rating, and some perfect block chance. Yeah, I think I skipped over it for a good reason. I recommend Mastery's Recovery. With Life Siphon, Guillotine has access to lifesteal effects at all times. Increasing the amount of life stolen can be a huge boost to her survivability in long quests and alliance quests. You should pretty much always have Recovery maxed in your Masteries. So yeah, sure. Precision and Cruelty, same deal. You should pretty much always have these maxed, or like 4 out of 5 in Cruelty and 5 out of 5 in Precision. And unless you're only using like guaranteed critical champions like Corvus and Ghost and stuff. And Glass Cannon, by increasing her attack by as much as possible, Guillotine also increases her health regeneration via Life Siphon, increasing her damage output while offsetting the decreased HP from this mastery. That's cool. I usually don't run Max Glass Cannon. I usually only run a point if I'm running Suicides. But she sounds good with Glass Cannon, so that's cool. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty excited for Guillotine. She's sounding really good. A lot of good stuff that we went over. One last thing I want to show you guys is we're going to take a look at Aunt May and look at her current synergies. And this way, so I don't know if any of these are going to be getting changed or not. But if so, then we'll... if not, then you guys are going to see some synergies that could be pretty useful now. So the synergies that were sticking out to me were... this one with Strife sounds alright. Souls last 30% longer and are paused during either champion special attacks. So, once you're over that 10 mark, they do start to fall off. So this could be nice to keep those. We have one. This one sounds like one of the best synergies with Night Thrasher here. Each soul grants an additional 100 critical rating. So at 10, that's that 1,000 critical rating. And like I said, those crits, your crits affect how many bleeds you get. So that sounds like a really strong synergy. And then we also have this one, I think sounded pretty good, with Gomorrah, 50% chance when striking a bleeding opponent to gain a soul charge. It's pretty solid. One with Ronin here. Striking an opponent with a 4th light attack has a 30% chance to gain 1 soul. That's not bad. I wouldn't run Ronin on a team just to have the synergy, though. And then we have one with the Guillotine. Soul charges take 10 seconds longer to expire. Again, not bad. What's this one? Guillotine plus 20% bleed ability, accuracy, and potency. That sounds pretty good. And then the one with Purgatory here sounds interesting. Bleeds triggered by critical hits have a chance to be critical bleeds, depending on critical chance. So this would just be all of Guillotine's crits now. Hold on. Let me quickly take a look at Guillotine's current abilities. If her bleed is based upon random? What is it based upon? Critical hits lacerate the opponent. It looks like all bleeds apply crits on regular Guillotine, so like before her buff. So yeah, after her buff, bleeds triggered by critical hits have a chance to be. Oh, I'm dumb. I was reading this as bleeds triggered by critical hits will be critical. No, there's still just a chance. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I was thinking this would be a little too bonkers. Depending on critical rate chance. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Critical bleeds multiply their damage by Guillotine's critical damage multiplier. So yeah, that still could be really good. Especially with your special 2, if you heavy chain into heavy cancel into the special, you can get that bleed thing going and apply some big bleeds. So yeah, I personally am pretty excited for this buff. I think it's sounding pretty good. Like I said, if it's a voted for champ, you know, it's got to be up to par, you know. I do have a 6-star Guillotine as well. Unfortunately, she is unawakened, but definitely gonna rank 2, maybe even rank 3 on duped. She just won't be good against bleed immunes on duped. But yeah, sounding pretty interesting. So I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Did you vote for Guillotine? Or if you did or didn't, what do you think? Are you excited? Do you think it's worth the vote if you did? But yeah, I'm very interested to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, would really help me out if you dropped a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.